Let's examine an interesting conflict that can arise when working with dates in a calendar table and dates in a fact table. We'll look at the method most users implement to solve the conflict, which could require several steps to solve. Then I'll show you a super cool, fast, easy, one-step solution to solving the conflict regardless of how many of these conflicts reside in your semantic model. Here I have a very simple semantic model with two tables, a calendar table and a test data table that has transactional information. Feel free to download this file along with the solution files from the link in the video description so you can follow along and also have the ability to go back and look at the solutions. To see what is in these tables, we'll switch to the table view. My calendar table has a list of dates for every day in 2026. The test data table has the transactional information. So we have date timestamps, order numbers, amounts. Now in the calendar table, in case you're curious, I generated this calendar table with the calendar function. And this finds the earliest date in that date time column of the test data table, extracts the year, and then hard codes January 1st to it. So January 1st is the start of the calendar table. It does the same thing for the oldest date in the table, then hard codes December 31st, and that becomes the last day in the calendar table. Now, not to turn this into a lecture on calendar tables, but if you're wondering how I generated the other columns, the month number column is using the month function to just extract the month from the date column of the calendar table. The month column uses the format command to take the date in the date column and just reformat it so it displays the full month name. Next, we have the quarter column, which uses the quarter function to extract the quarter number from the date and then append QTR to the front of it. And finally, I have quarter number, which uses the quarter function to generate the numbers 1 through 4. Switching to the model view, I need to create a relationship between the date column of the calendar table and the date time column of the test data table. So I'll grab date, drag it and drop it on date time, and then I'll tell it that we're using the date column of calendar to connect to the date time column of the test data table. This will be a one-to-many relationship with filtering going in one direction. I'll click save, and I've built that relationship. In the report view, I've built two clustered column charts and two line charts. If we look in the test data table, I've also created a measure that sums up the amount column of this table. I've placed that total sales measure in each of these four charts. Now, because I'm not breaking this information down by anything, it just gives me the total sales of everything. But let's say we went to this clustered column chart and we were to add the month field to the x-axis. It doesn't change, it just shows us the total sales. If I go to this chart here and I add the quarter to this chart, again, it's just the total sales. If I go to this line chart, which is showing the total sales, I'll add month, it's still just the total sales. Going to this smaller one, if I add quarter, still just total sales. So what's happening here? We've built a relationship in the data model between the calendar table's dates and the dates in the test data table. The problem is if we go back to the table view and look at the calendar table, the date column is made up of dates, and you can see here it's a date data type. But if I look at the test data table, the first column of dates also include time, and we can see the data type is date time. When you connect a date field to a date time field, everything must match in order to be perceived as the same event. If I only have the date in one, but I have date time in another, I'm never going to get a match. So the relationship exists, but the visuals have no way of discerning months or quarters. So how do we solve this problem? Let's look at the way most people are taught to solve it, and then we'll look at our super cool one-click solution. The way most people solve this is we'll go back to the table view and we'll select the test data table. Here we're going to create a helper column. So I'll go up to Table Tools, click New Column. We want a column that just contains the date without the time. So we'll call this column Date Only. To repeat the date times without the time, we're going to use a date value function. This will point to the date time column of the test data table. So for test data, we'll point to date time, close parentheses, hit enter, and this gives us the dates. But it doesn't bring over the time, just the dates. Now it did generate time, but they're all 12 o'clock. So I'm going to change the data type from date time to date. I'll also reformat it in the style I prefer. By the way, you can't just have date only point to date time without using date value, because then it will bring over the date and the time. Even if you re-data type it as date, the data model will see that time because it's actually just a pass-through for the original column. Going back to the model view, we need to remove the current relationship of date to date time. So I'll do a right-click delete. and establish a new relationship between date of the calendar table and date only of the test data table. This is still a one-to-many relationship with a single direction filter. Going back to the report view, everything works now. Now back to the table view. This solution is very simple. The problem is for every table you bring into your semantic model that has a date-time column, you will have to create a corresponding date-only column and then create the relationship around that. So if I have 20 columns with dates in them, I will have to have 20 of these helper columns. This will obviously take more time to create, and it will increase the size of my model. So let's look at a more comprehensive solution, something that doesn't require creating all these helper columns, but does require us going into a part of Power BI that you may have never used. Before we visit this new place, let's go back to our model view and let's break the relationship between date and date only. We'll also remove this date only field from the model. Now if I go back to date and reconnect it to date time, one-to-many relationship, single directional filters, looking back at the table view, everything's broken again. On the left side of the screen in the navigation panel, the location we want to visit is the TMDL view, and you can see that icon here. Let's give that a click. This takes us into the TMDL viewer or editor. TMDL stands for Tabular Model Definition Language, and it's a text-based format that allows us to describe the data model. We can represent items in the model as readable text instead of having to explore things through a graphical interface. If we look on the right side of the screen, for the model view, we see these various categories. And if I were to open up something like measures, I can see my total sales measure. If I click and hold and drag that into my TMDL viewer, here is the text-based equivalent of what I would see if I looked in the ribbons. You can not only view information here, but you can change it. So if you understand this language, you can make modifications directly in the TMDL viewer. If I wanted to sum up a completely different column, I could make that edit right here. This is not meant to be an exhaustive training session on the use of TMDL. I'm not in a position to do that. I still consider myself very much a beginner in this utility, but I have learned a few things. One of those things is if I go to the relationships category and I grab my relationship between my two tables and bring it into the viewer, here is the text-based version of the relationship. So currently I have a relationship from the test data table date time field to the calendar table date field. I'll go to the bottom of this, and I'll tab to the same position as my current arguments. A great advantage of this view is you can change things that you can't change at the graphical level. This behind-the-scenes code supports an argument called joinOnDateBehavior. Now the parameter for this argument is called datePartOnly. This argument forces the relationship to only examine the date portion of either of these fields. Now, in order to apply this change, we have to go to the upper left and click the Apply button. It says as the changes were applied to the model, but a refresh is required to update the dashboard. So towards the upper right, I'll click Refresh Now. It seems to be happy. I'll go to my report view. Everything is working. So looking back at the table view, my test data table does not require a helper column to sanitize out the time from the date time field. I can now add as many tables as I want with as many date time fields as I want, and if they all connect to the calendar table, then going into the TMDL view, I can add this joinOnDateBehavior switch, and everything works. So remember to download these files from the link in the video description so you can practice this, and also go into the solution files and look at these codes. So tell me your experiences with TMDL. Is this your first time seeing it? Have you used it for a while? Do you know any other really cool tricks you can implement using the TMDL viewer? I'm learning this just like everybody else, so I would love to get some feedback from you guys to see some cool things that you've done with it. Thank you for watching, and remember at BCTI, the learning never stops.